All right, guys, welcome to the show. I wanted to do a specific video to talk about the truth and reveal the biggest lie ever told in fantasy football. And this lie is told every single year. I want to expose the lie and also talk to you a little bit about it and how you could avoid being caught up in the lie, okay? I ask you guys, again, I'm being real with you. This video is to genuinely give you guys information from the inside. I've been doing fantasy football since 2015. I want you guys to be fully aware of what happens every single year. This is very important. So this is, again, about you guys winning your leagues. This is about you guys and being really genuine and authentic with you guys to every level and degree, okay? And I'm the only one talking about this, the only one doing this. Someone's got to do it. I've been doing this for years. And I really want to dig deeper here in this video, okay? This is very, very important. So I ask you guys to hit the thumbs up. This is very important. I want to get this message out to everybody that plays fantasy football. It's very important you hit that thumbs up to increase the algorithm here. And of course, comment below. Just say something. Say something positive. Say what's up. Just make sure you guys comment below to increase the algorithm here on this video. But again, that thumbs up and then watching this video in entirety is very important as well. Because again, there's a lot of information here for you to absorb. And so you guys can get a good idea of what's happening in the industry and the biggest lie here that's ever been told, okay, which we'll get to in a second here, okay? Again, my mission since I started this is that you guys win your leagues. This is very important to me. And the reason I got started with this is because I didn't like the way the information was being distributed. Fake, fluffy fantasy football podcasts, copy and paste rankings, and it just was not being done right. And what the sad thing is that it continues to be done like that. It's still copy and paste. It's still BS, okay? So what is the biggest lie? How can we combat it? How can we beat it? What is happening in the industry, okay? First and foremost, what's happening in this industry is that everybody seems to be jumping on the train. You see a lot. I go on YouTube, and before it was like me and 3 other people doing these videos. Now you see these videos, and you saw the thumbnail here with my fake face, right? I'm doing like a fake face. That is what everybody's doing. Fake faces, a lot of BS going on, a lot of clickbaity stuff. Everybody just popping up in their garage, doing a video on fantasy football. There's a lot of lies, a lot of deceit, a lot of BS, a lot of cookie cutter stuff, okay? That's a big problem that's going on right now. Again, I commend people for taking action and doing what they love, but they're going about it all wrong, okay? Very fake, very cookie cutter, very, clickbaity, and that's not really going to help anybody win their leagues, okay? One thing that I've prided myself on when I started is just being authentic, being real, and saying how it is, right? And the truth never lies. And you see fantasy football and even sports analysts, these white-collar guys, always, cookie cutter. That player had a lackluster performance. He underperformed. No, that's BS, guys. That's very vanilla. You guys are playing vanilla. That guy actually sucked that game. And you know what? I've said it to players. I've come out and said, hey, you sucked that game. Pick it up. You're playing like trash, and these players have come at me. Their egos get in the way, and I've had it out with NFL players, Mecole Hardman, Alexander Madison, Josh Jacobs, Le'Veon Bell, just to name a few. There's been a ton of players that have come at me and said, who are you? You want to fight, blah, 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 because I say the truth. And why do I say the truth? Is that I want you to win. So going back to what is the biggest lie, okay? I mean, this is a loaded question. There's a ton of lies going on. But one thing that keeps happening every single year, and we see it every single year, is this copy and paste mentality. Let me explain. Now, you hear me talk about copy and paste. What exactly does that mean? They're taking last year's top finishers and telling you again to draft them in that exact same order based on ADP. ADP consensus rankings don't help you. I'll give you a quick example last year. Everybody told you to draft Jonathan Taylor first overall. This was a consensus thing. When you opened up your app to do the draft, Jonathan Taylor came up on top. Same with Cooper Kupp. These are guys that I mentioned in my 16-round draft solution, which is the truth, which we'll get to how to combat all this later. In my 16 rounds, I mentioned that these guys are due for a major decline. What goes up must come down. We saw it. Again, I keep going to this example. Back in 2019, Michael Thomas had this pinnacle year. In 2020, everyone told you to draft Michael Thomas. He busted. How about Le'Veon Bell when he did well on the Steelers? When he got traded to the Jets the year after, everybody told you to draft Le'Veon Bell round 1. And I told you, he's on the Jets. New offense, new team, new situation. Everything changes, decline decline happening, yet everyone told you Le'Veon Bell. Last year, Cooper Kupp. Last year, Rashad Penny, right? They were playing it safe with Rashad Penny. And the biggest lie, again, getting to the point I'm trying to make here, is that this continues. And I'm telling you again, yes, Eckler was good last year. Yes, CMC was good last year. Yes, Jefferson came off a pinnacle year. All these guys that finished on top last year, there's a probability they're going to decline. And I'm not saying they're going to completely bust, but things happen, right? Things change. The guys that finished on top 99% of the time don't finish on top, or there's a regression, or there's an injury, or something happens. And you have to accommodate for that. And the mainstream sheep don't accommodate for that. Why? Because they're sheep cowards, okay? What they're going to do is they're going to play it safe. Because all these guys finished on top, we're literally going to tell you to draft them again in that order. If a player finished 28th, he's most likely going to be ranked 28th amongst that, in their respective position. Why do they do this? Because they want to play it safe, okay? Now, by thinking outside the box and not copying and pasting and anticipating what's coming, what's going to happen, where is that puck going to eventually be? Not where it is now, but where is it going to be, right? You got to anticipate. I've been watching a lot of tennis. The French Open's going on right now. I play some tennis, right? I grew up watching tennis too as one of the sports. I watch MMA. I grew up watching hockey. I watch basketball. I watch football. Another sport I enjoy watching is tennis, right? And World Cup soccer. There's other things I like to watch. But one thing that the guys, on the receiving end, when they receive, the guys coming in with a serve, 120 miles an hour, plus it's coming in, you got to anticipate by the shoulder movement. You got to know where that tennis ball is going to land, so you're able to, return it, right? You got to anticipate, right? It happens in sports all the time. So, same thing with fantasy football, guys. I know you're passionate. I know you're excited, but you're being lied to every single year because they're taking last year's top finishers and they're telling you to draft them again in that order. Okay? How do you beat that? You get the 68-round draft solution. You subscribe to this podcast. You share this message because, again, every magazine, every analyst, every single person on YouTube is doing the same thing. They're not thinking outside the box. Again, last year, Kenneth Walker was drafted in the second round. Everybody was telling you Rashad Penny. They were playing it safe. He was ranked ahead of Kenneth Walker. Why would you rank a guy that was injured for 2 or 3 years before that ahead of Kenneth Walker? How about DeAndre Swift last year in 2022? DeAndre Swift was a top 8 running back in PPR. I said, avoid this guy like the plague. He can't finish a season. Sure enough, he was ranked as a top 8 and he busted. Now they're not riding DeAndre Swift. They don't like DeAndre Swift anymore. Sometimes they tend to ride players because of popularity. An example there, Odell Beckham Jr. was drafted in the first round in fantasy for years, and I warned you, this guy sucks. He's overrated. Don't draft Odell Beckham Jr., and he busted every single year, yet they continue to put him on top. Because why? It was the popular thing to do. Listen, the clickbaits, the copy and paste, the magazines, the consensus rankings, the analysts, everybody out there, 99% of the people don't care if you win your league. It's a business to them. They're going to put out a draft kit. What is a draft kit? It's consensus rankings. What is the point of a draft kit when you're getting those rankings in your platform, right? When you're drafting on whatever platform you're drafting on, when your queue comes up in the draft, you're going to get the next guy in ADP. That's what they're offering in the draft kit. It makes zero logical sense. So the biggest lie, guys, and I'll tell you what the biggest lie is again, I've already explained it, is that they take last year's top finishers and tell you to draft again in that order. They lie to you. It's copy and paste. It's cookie cutter. Cookie cutter is the biggest lie in fantasy football. And if you want to win your leagues, you have to secure the 60-round draft solution. You have to join the Patreon if you want that community of like-minded, passionate people, because I'm here to provide the truth. I'm here. And again, people don't like what I say. Why? Because it's the truth. Because I say that guy's going to bust. Don't draft that popular player first overall. Factor in a regression. Take a look at the depth chart. Take a look at the rookie they drafted, and he's going to come in and get the volume, right? You have to anticipate. And by anticipating, that is how you win. Think outside the box. Create a balanced roster. Draft the optimal player drafted each round. Omit players coming off pinnacle years and draft players that are due for an incline year, right? Players that are in contract years. players that are actually due to win, players that are hungry, players that actually are in a prime position to succeed, not players coming off astronomical huge numbers and pinnacle years that would be almost impossible to duplicate and replicate. The last time a running back finished 2 years in a row on top was Priest Holmes in 2002, 2003. It's very unlikely that they duplicate. Mind you, they could have back-to-back good seasons. We saw it with Antonio Brown, 2015, 16, 17 had consecutive good years, right? It happens. It's really rare, but it happens, okay? So what you got to do is anticipate, create balanced rosters. And again, in the mid-rounds, you don't just draft safe wide receiver threes. You go for those rookies that are in a prime position to excel in their depth chart. So again, this is what I explained in the 16-round draft session. This is what we talk about in the Patreon group. This is what we do on this channel. So again, make sure you guys subscribe, send this message out, and drop a comment below. Let me know. Are you sick and tired of copy and paste rankings? How do you draft? How do you feel? Let me know, guys. And again, everybody else is clickbaity, copy and paste. You need to avoid the BS that's coming out. You need to stay genuine. You need to stay authentic. And that's why you need to be subscribed to this channel, okay? So again, tons of lies going on. It is a business. They don't care if you win. They're playing it safe to cover their own arse, right? Their own butt, whatever. They're there to cover themselves. That's all they do. They're going to just give you that clickbaity copy and paste stuff. They don't care if you actually win. I genuinely do, and that's what I built this brand on this foundation, that you guys win. I've been producing the truth since 2015. I've been posting every single day. Everybody else is coming late to the party. They will not succeed by being fake. All right, guys? And that's what they're doing. The industry, the mainstream consensus, everybody else in the industry doesn't like me. Why? Because I'm telling the truth and I'm exposing their BS. This is what they built their foundation on. For years, they've been doing this copy and paste stuff, and that's going to end right now with the Fantasy Football Counselor podcast. So spread this message. Let's start, conveying the truth, and let's actually start winning our leagues. All right, guys? I genuinely care that you guys win. I know you're passionate. I'm just like you guys. I created this brand on passion. I was a fantasy football player. I wanted it to be done right, and I'm doing it right. That's why I'm number one in the game. All right, guys? Subscribe, smash the thumbs up, and share this message, and let's dominate 2023 fantasy football and beyond. Get the 16-round draft solution, and I'll see you in the Patreon group, patreon.com/FF Counselor. Lion Strong. I'm out.